Okay, welcome to class. So today we are going to do a value scale project. First, you're going to do a practice section, and then after that, you're going to actually move into the actual project. So bear with me while we go through this today. We're going to talk about two things right now, value scale and value gradation. There are two different things. A lot of people like to mix them up. It really doesn't matter, but we want to learn the differences and learn how to do the differences before we begin this process. So, what is a value scale or gradation? The value scale is a system of organized values. It consists of 9 values that we will be discussing, ranging from a white to black, with several shades of gray in between. These shades of gray make up what I like to call the meat of a drawing and help to create illusion of depth or three-dimensionality. So, we're going to start with obviously making our own scale of 1 to 9 with our pencil today in graphite. So for number 1, that would be what we call a highlight. That is the white of your paper. And then we have number 9, which is the darkest dark of your paper. That would be more where you find your shadows. And then all of these other guys in between we're going to talk about today and how to get them on your paper. So for a value gradation, so let's revert. This is a value scale, and a gradation is slightly different. So gradation in art is a visual technique of gradually transitioning from one color hue to another, or from one shade to another, from one texture to another, so on and so forth. This allows you to create space, distance, atmosphere, volume, and curving or rounding forms of objects. Real quick, this little video down below, if you want to click on that link yourself, you can switch into that gear and watch that video. We'll go ahead and see if it will work for me today so that we can all watch it together. So we're going to switch back to the PowerPoint. Okay, so from here, we're going to move on real quick. Let's see if I can get it to go back to full screen. There we go. Okay, so that was just really cool video to show you the difference between how illusions can be made with value. So we're going to go ahead and move on real quick. So today, most of you are probably, if you've taken an art class before, you've done this before. So it's pretty simple. We're going to go ahead and I've got some videos on here for you to watch on your own to see how you're going to make this work. So first, we're going to worry about our value scale down beneath. We're going to do a value scale and a gradation, and I'll show you on the next slide. And then we are also going to be working on a sphere. Now, you can go above and beyond and do something similar to this, or I will show you an example that I have done for you. It's a little bit simpler, just so you can get through this process before you move on to the actual project. So before we begin that, we want to establish, obviously, where we have a light source. You're going to label this in your paper, so we need to have a light source. I need to see your highlight. We're actually going to go a little bit more into these later within our actual numbers rather than the names, but you will see that you're going to have your midtones, which we'll talk about. You will have a shadow here. You're going to have a reflection here and a cast shadow down below. So again, this is just showing you when you start to label your own paper, where you are going to go to label it to show you a little bit more specific on where each individual number is going to go. Now you can click down below on these to see the tutorial, or I have them here for our practice assignment first. You will do a practice assignment. This is the value scale, gradation, and your sphere. You're going to go ahead and turn that into me first, so you'll take a picture and email it to me. That is worth 10 points, and then once that is checked off, then you can move on to the actual value project. So on your own time, go ahead and watch these 2 videos to show you how to do the next project. We're not going to do it right now because we don't have enough time, so go ahead and make sure you watch those before you begin your practice first. Okay, so this is the simple version. We have a value scale, we have a gradation scale. Step 1's pretty easy. You're going to make a strip of square boxes, so they need to be 1 inch by 9 inches, okay? And make sure that you have 9 of them. Step number 2, you're going to label them from 1 to 9, so I see them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. After that, there will be 9 squares of value available. So you're going to start from your darkest dark, and that's heavy pressure with the darkest pencil that you have. Then from there, you're going to move into lightening your values as you go. Every square needs to be lighter than the one before and not darker than the one after. Okay? Step 3, obviously, use your pencil and start at square 9 like I just discussed. Go from there on. I do want to see that you're breaking your 9s up into 3 groups. So you are going to have your lights, which is 1 through 3, your midtones, which is 4 through 5, your darks, 7 through 9, okay? The last part is really easy. This is just your gradation scale, and I want to make sure that you are labeling value scale and gradation, okay? This will be a 1/2 inch by 9 inch, super easy. Then from there, you're gonna go in with your darkest pencil, and as you move towards the center of your paper and on, you will notice your value is going to change from that dark into mid-tone into light. Okay, so that is the first part. This is your second part, your sphere shading practice. This is fairly simple. We did have in the beginning a much more detailed version, which is totally fine if you want to go ahead and do that. I've broken it down so it's not so intense. First thing you'll need to do, obviously, is draw your circle, establish your light source. Then from there, you can begin adding in your values, making sure you have your highlight, because we want to see that. And then after you are done, make sure you label and show me where your cast shadow is relative to the light source. So this is step 1, okay? You must complete this first before you can move on to the assignment. And this is going to obviously make sure that you do not move on unless you have completed that practice portion of the assignment, the last 2 slides. And then you need to turn it in for credit. After that, you may move on to the final project. Real quick, this is your bubble shading assignment. So the first one is super easy, obviously, just value, scale, gradation, and sphere. This next section is a little different. I want to see how you see values relative to different shapes. We are only focusing on organic or non-recognizable shapes. So, real quick, this is an example of one of those. Notice you will have a full range from 1 all the way down to 9, and you need to make sure that that is very apparent in your piece. Here are some examples of students' work. Okay, some can be, obviously, you're going to notice some recognizable shapes versus others. Just make sure that you have the intent of not using recognizable shapes or more so geometric shapes. We want to use organic for the most part. These are really good examples. They all range from a 9 to 1. Some have more space covered than others, and that's totally fine. Make sure, again, you are reading your requirements on each assignment. This one has only organic shapes, non-recognizable, obviously. You must use your full range of value from light, mid-tone, dark, and darks. Okay, that is from the 1 to 9 that we discussed. Fill the whole page, and then it needs to be clean work with no smudges. So you cannot start this assignment until you have completed these assignments. Make sure that you are aware of that before you turn anything in. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, or any time I can schedule a hangout chat. Just let me know if you need any help. Good luck, and make sure you watch those videos. They will be extremely helpful.